Keith.
Good morning. Yeah, I'm Keith Schultz, and I'm a transit-dependent member of OPAL and Bus Riders Unite. And I come here from Gresham to speak of some concerns I have about HOP, the new e-fare system you're beginning to implement. And some of these were kind of discussed in just a few minutes ago, and it was real nice. But please consider the position that a family of 4 would have, with a $3 cost per card, plus a $5 minimum load. A family of 4 would have to pay a total of $32 just to get started. Many of our transit-dependent families who are struggling to get by would find this hard to work with. And what about the next day, or the days after that? Another concern I have, and I know you're working on this, is the retail network to reload cards. I've heard you're going to build it up to over 500 things. But last summer, I saw a partial map of Northeast Portland that showed a 35-block space between reloading stations. And that was on Northeast 82nd, one of the busiest bus lines. Please consider these thoughts and ensure that there are an adequate amount of locations to reload cards before you make your decision. And I'd also like to propose for you to explore a low-income fare. I know you've heard the family fare and everything. I think a low-income fare might help. Those who are struggling to get by would get a break. Many other transit agencies do have low-income fares. Thank you.
Thank you, Keith. Yes, good comments. Good morning.
Good morning, board members. My name is Rhonda Lopez, and I'm a community organizer with OPAL Environmental Justice. In the last meeting, you had a briefing on e-fare, and I come before you to express some of my concerns, especially how fast this e-fare program is moving forward. I appreciate the fact that Trimet reached out to the community, but reaching out to a little over 140 people is not enough. Trimet needs to do more outreach, whether it's through through more public forums or public comment before the board, such as today. I would recommend that Trimet reach out to social agencies, other community organizations, schools and universities for more input. The issues that have been brought up in these forums have not been addressed, such as a family card or exploring a low-income fare. This project needs more community input. The failure or low participation in this implementation of this program can be a disaster, such as ambitious programs before it, like Cover Oregon and the Columbia River Crossing, projects where millions were spent and nothing was accomplished. I would like to invite Trimet to work with us to develop solutions to the issues and concerns that the community has brought forth. At the very least, allow more time for public input beyond February 16th, like the February 24th Trimet board meeting, and continue your outreach efforts to the community. Family cards have been used in other agencies such as Utah, and I'm sure that we can implement it here. We have a great outstanding people working for Trimet that I'm sure can come up with something for a family. So thank you.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate your input. All right, so even more, and back to Jason McGuff.
Hi, good morning. Board members that I know and board members that I don't know as well. My name is Avon Moore. I'm a member of Bus Riders Unite, like Keith. And I haven't written out a whole script, so this is going to be a little bit off the cuff. I'm personally looking forward to using the e-fare system. I think it sounds incredibly convenient for some of my purposes. And that's because I buy, a book of bus tickets at a time and shell them out, and you lose one book and you're in trouble. But I'm not really surprised, but I'm still feeling really disappointed by the whole process of outreach that's gone into making, this ordinance and the entire e-fare program. There were no organized efforts to contact specifically minorities and low-income people until after hardware was already being installed and after software contracts had already been signed, to the point where one of the most common, one of the most strong concerns at these small community forums that happened in November and December was that it would be difficult for families with, a number of children to use. The family card was expressed, from what I can tell, at more than one of these forums, right? And the family card is one of the policies that we've just been told would be very, very difficult to implement according to the system that's already been put in place and would be extremely difficult to change. Obviously, it sounds like Trimet is working on finding some way of making that work, and what I'm hoping is that it doesn't turn into a, well, we've heard your concern, we put together a little task force, and we found that it just wasn't workable. What I'm hoping is that Trimet will aggressively pursue the mitigation efforts that have been suggested for some of the issues that have been brought up. For example, finding a way to make a family card happen in whatever way it takes. Also, for example, just aggressively expanding the retail network. You've been talking about having an expanded retail network for a long time, but I start off with concerns about the methodology that was used to develop the map of the retail network in the first place, taking into account only the location of the retail network and not its proximity to bus stops. If you imagine someone having to walk from their home, to the retail network and then to the bus stop to buy their ticket. It was problematic, and things like it's been suggested that Plaid Pantry might get on board. It's really important to make sure that actually happens, and it's not just a good idea that becomes impracticable. My last concern that I want to air is the mitigation of the, let me check and see my notes. Okay, so the $3 card cost is with cash transfers maintained. My concern is, Trimet is already planning to eliminate cash transfers. The timeline for that is 5 years. So if the mitigation for that cost is going to be something that you're already planning to phase out, what is the plan for 5 years from now? What kinds of suggestions are going to come up in the next few years as you're, asked to make further decisions that, again, can't be appropriately mitigated because you've already put this system in place? I think, personally, right now is a very good time to proactively take on a mitigation that would ease the transition to this system, that would also address some of the widespread problems that we're facing with affordability of not just transportation, but also housing and other cost of living issues in Portland, and that is the institution of a low-income fare. That's something that we can incorporate into this e-fare program as we're making other fare changes and as we're designing, what these various cards are going to come out as in stores. And there really is no better time than now to do it. Thank you.